it was my honor last in August. I got to see Miriam's semi-final speech, and she totally rocked it. And I saw her final speech, and she totally rocked it there. And then at the gala, you can see we're all dressed up. Miriam, I don't know if you can see it, but we had a really nice chat after dinner. We talked about which speech we liked the best. I'm not going to tell you which one she liked the best, and what an honor it was to have her on stage and to actually take the picture and get a chance to speak with her. Isn't that great? Wow, at the convention. So, well, the other thing that Tom didn't say is Miriam is a motivational speaker. She has a program called Be Unstoppable that she does in multiple languages, including they call it French, but it's probably in some Canadian, Quebec French, English, Arabic. Who knows how many languages she speaks, but it's a lot. And tonight we are so honored, Miriam, to hear your talk. You have no idea. Give it up for Maram Ganni.
Have you ever felt like your parents and you come from different planets? My father and I, different galaxies. We speak different languages. He speaks Arabic. I speak millennial. He speaks safety and certainty. I speak freedom and fun. Picture a tall ex-military, but extra caring, with extra high pants. That's my father, Sammy. Are you familiar with helicopter parents? My dad is an Iraqi drone. Mimi, come back home. The closer he hovered, the further I escaped. When I was 3, the moment we got to the hotel on family vacation, I sprinted straight to the open elevator doors, the silver gates of freedom. Dad flipped the hotel upside down to find me, and he found me sitting with kind strangers eating their pistachios. Who needs parents when you've got pistachios? Midnight, never do this again. You have no idea how much I love you. Bye. When I was 16, I went ice skating for the first time. Dad stopped me at the door. Mimi, please, be careful. This ice, it is very dangerous. If you fall, you're gonna die. But the teen in me was determined. No, you just want to stop me from living my life. You're always in my way. Mimi, come back home. You have no idea how much I love you. When I was 21, I was told I was losing my eyesight. That day, Dad stood by my side and he asked the doctor, Doctor, can I please give her my eyes? Dad, it was the first time I had ever seen my military father cry. I had no idea how much he loved me. I grew up. Dad grew older, and we grew apart. I used my diagnosis to chase the freedom I craved. I wanted to see the world before losing my sight. But wherever I went, something was always missing. Calling, Miriam, come back home. And I did go back home this year, when Dad's progressing Parkinson's landed him in hospital. I sat by his bedside and gently held his frail hands. every part of me wished I could take away his disease. Dad, Baba, remember when you asked the doc, can I give her my eyes? Why did you say that? Mimi, you really have no idea how much I love you. And for the first time, Dad told me stories about his past, my past. When you were just a year old during the war in Iraq, I guarded the door all night to protect you. And even today, I would still protect you. So, do you still give me your eyes? And how do I get around? Dad, Mimi, my daughter, you don't need them anymore. But I do, so I can keep seeing you growing into the brave daughter you have become. I am proud of you. It was the first time I'd felt so free being home. Dad, Baba, you have no idea how much I love you. Although my father and I come from different galaxies, after 33 years, we finally spoke the same language. I may have lost my sight, but Dad gave me insight on how to live and how to love unconditionally. He taught me that no matter where you come from, no matter what language you speak, whether you are sighted or not, there is one language that is universally understood, one that unites nations, friends, families, and that is the language of the heart. Friends, how would this world be if we all spoke that language? If we all loved like Sami? You have no idea.
Thank you, Miriam. Wow. So, Tom, I could ask her some questions so we can. Are we okay? Tom? He's looking at. So, Miriam, how has your life changed since the convention in Bahamas?
Well, it's given me many opportunities to achieve my dream, which is to connect with as many people as possible from all over the world and be able to share my message, but also create these beautiful friendships and relationships. And I think that's the main change that I've had since
And
then.
how many different districts have you spoken at? Have you keep track?
Oh, I didn't keep track. I lost track, but I had the great honor of speaking for a district all the way in India, and it was just nice that they prepared a whole event, and it was an interview, and they wanted me to give a short keynote with that, and people were so involved, and everybody wanted to learn something from me, and I never thought that I always wanted to share hope with people, but I never thought someone would want to learn something. And I thought, wow, it just proves that I still have so much to learn if I feel this way, and I'm never going to stop learning.
Well, we have a lot to learn from you too, because you're a beautiful role model. And when people make excuses, then I just, you say, come on, give me a break here. Just do what needs to be done. And uh, tell us what it was like being on the final stage with 3,000 people, a huge stage being televised all over, live streamed in 140 countries.
Honestly, I didn't even take it in. I didn't have time to think of that. And I think I didn't want to give myself time to think of it. First of all, I can't even see the audience. So that really played in my favor because it made me less nervous, not knowing, the amount of not seeing the amount of people there was. But I just I prayed in the back and I said backstage, that was before both speeches, and I said I just pray that the audience receives my message with an open heart and that it may touch someone in the audience, even if it's just one person. And I focused on delivering my message with giving the best of me, the best I could at that moment, and with love. And I think that's what I try to focus on. And I just went on stage and I said, that's it. When the adrenaline kicks in, I think it does miracles.
Well, I think you touched 2,000 or 3,000 people and all the judges as well, obviously, since number three in the world is impressive in any way, shape, or form. Our district has only had two or three people even make it to the final stage. So it's very impressive for us to anyone who can be a top three. And of course, I think you should have won, but I'm biased. I wasn't a judge this year, so I didn't get to say, and I can say those. Uh, Tom, is there any questions from the group here that they have? This is a great opportunity to ask a question.
Questions,
I
comments, or
don't see right now. Maybe there is.
What's that, Tom?
Maybe there is. You hit a note with me though, because I coached student speakers for like 20 years or something, and I only came up with one piece of advice, and I want a piece of advice from you to anyone out here maybe thinking about going on and dreaming of being on the stage. But my message, my story to give students to get over nervousness, none of them had ever competed before, and that was that the message is the magic. So if you keep in mind your message, and that's pretty much what you said, you have this message that needs to get out, and you need to get it out, and maybe you don't think about being nervous. But any other questions from members in the audience?
Judy has a question online. Judy?
Yes, I have actually two questions.
Oh, my.
If you will allow me. First question is, which club are you a member of? Maybe you're in multiple clubs in Toastmasters.
Yes, I'm actually in one single club for now. I do want to join other ones. I'm in a club in Ottawa called Tunney's Toastmasters, and no one knows it. Every time I say the name, no one's familiar with it. It's been around, I think, for at least 20 years.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. Wait, you live in Montreal, but you're in a club in Ontario?
Exactly. Actually, yes. Mentioned that. Yes, that's probably what created the confusion. Actually, I joined Tony's during COVID, so they had become hybrid virtual for that moment, and now they're considered a hybrid club. So this is why, and I stayed with them, of course. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's great. So hold on, Judy, because Marilyn had a question, which was, I looked up on LinkedIn because I just that you have this motivational speaking group career, and tell us how you started that and what your purpose is.
Yeah, thank you so much. I after coming, failing and university, maybe 3 or 4 times at that point, I finally went back after doing vision rehabilitation. So I learned how to read Braille. I learned how to cross the street with a white cane. I learned my cardinal directions, and I basically I decided to start my life all over again. And I said part of that is going to be finishing university and getting a degree, because at that point I was a professional makeup artist. That was the only degree I had. And I'd started, but I stopped so many times because my vision had continued degenerating. And I went back in 2017, I remember. And at that point I said, I'm going to go and I'm going to finish on a good note. I walked in with my white cane, and I remember my first class was a professional communications and networking course. and back to school was my second certification in entrepreneurship. And my professor approached me later on, and during the semester, he heard me speaking towards the end, and he said, Miriam, I didn't know you could speak. I couldn't, because I wasn't speaking the whole time. And he said, you're pretty good. Have you ever considered telling your story? And I said, really, Brendan? I don't know, like I'm kind of scared. I never shared my story. I always wanted to hide it, actually. And he said, how about you be the mystery speaker for my event that he puts together this event at the end of his course, and there's always speakers that he invites, and they're professional speakers. He said, why don't you be one of them? And I said, really? He said, I've never spoken. That's actually been my dream. And he said, well, it's your chance, and he offered to be my mentor. And he encouraged me and shared a couple of quotes with me. And I don't know, he convinced me. And I gave my first speech, and I have it on YouTube, and I will not remove it. The purpose of that is that I want everybody to see how I started, what I looked like. I looked so nervous. I kept walking back and forth. I said and so many times. And so this is the perfect example of an imperfect speech. And I think if I can say something, there's a quote that stuck with me. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.